Hey ho, good morning. Welcome to Leaders Live. Welcome to Leaders Live show. This is a short countdown timer to help the various live feeds catch up and settle down. We can't wait for today's groovy show, and we're hanging out with business-to-business marketing expert and recent digital nomad Sarah Hughes this morning. And Sarah's also a regular guest on Leaders Live and a regular contributor. So we'll be chatting about the digital nomad, how to adventure while you work. Ooh, so that's today's session. I'm just waiting for the feed to come up. I think it's just come up, so I'll pop that up. So hi Sarah, give us a quick wave.
Morning.
Morning.
Hola.
Hola. Brilliant. Yeah, we'll see. Sarah's in Northern Tenerife at the moment, we think, so we'll come back to that in a moment. And helping us to engage, we have the lovely birdie Hugo, our fab moderator, chipping in, and she'll keep us on. She'll keep the interaction flowing and keep us on track. And Sawabona, Birdine, how you doing?
Yeah, você é bona.
Hey, fantastic.
Hey.
And you'll see a bit later that Birdine is sporting our Leaders Live t-shirt that's come all the way from the UK, all the way to South Africa. So, music by my Uncle Peter, and this is the 52nd show, folks. Fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. And we've all been part of this growing community. That feels really exciting. And please let us know if our audio's coming through okay. Morning, Paul. A groovy morning all, he says. Fantastic. So, please join in on the feed. Tell us that we're all coming through okay. And good morning, Jamie Radford. Fantastic to see you. So, oi, oi, people, Sawabuna, it's Leaders Live showtime, folks. And it's just after 8:45 a.m. here in the UK. And if you're new to Leaders Live and you don't know me, I'm Andrew Jenkins, and we are live with Leaders Live this morning, spreading the love, folks, spreading the love, yappa dabba do. Love that expression. And we're streaming out on LinkedIn, we're streaming out on YouTube, Facebook groups, Twitter, Twitch, all of those things. Ta-da! It's a complicated thing, all this tech, but it seems to all hang together somehow, so fingers crossed. And if you can't catch us on live, folks, or on the replay, fear not, my friends, we have you covered. We go out on podcasts as well a couple of days later. So we're on podcast too, and we'll send you the link a bit later. So remember too, it's an interactive show, folks, so please get involved, join in, ask questions, network with the live community. A little bit of friendly banter goes a long way, so you know how it goes. So put it all together, and what have you got? Yep, you've got it, bibbity bobbity boo, and you might be singing that song for the rest of the day as well. So let's bring up this week's Leaders Live guests. So let me just bring that side-by-side scene up. Here we go. The lovely Sarah. How are you doing? Great to have you on the show again, Sarah.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've been really looking forward to it.
So have we.
Really excited.
Yeah, we are so. I can't tell you, we're so excited to have you on to talk about the digital nomad. How to adventure while you work. That deserves a ooh. So, Sarah, tell us a little bit about where you're live streaming from, how long you've been digital nomading, if that is even a word, and where we're heading with you today in today's chat. Take it away for us, Sarah.
Oh, thank you. Well, I am live streaming from a place called La Orotava, which is it's a beautiful mountainside town in North Tenerife.
Wow.
And I'm in a co-work space called Nine. And just in terms of when the digital nomading started, I started it in end of March. So
right.
About a couple of months so far. And then I'll be doing this for about another month because then I need to return back to the UK and then plan the next adventure.
Next adventure. We might come back to nomading 2.0 a bit later, Sarah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So, where are we heading then today, Sarah? Just tell us a little bit of where you're taking us today.
Yeah, I think it's telling the story of what got me started doing it, how I found it, the highs, the lows, tips, hints, and I think what's really surprised me is I've been creating a video series, a video diary.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
And thank you. So I just uploaded last night my 20-second video.
Yeah.
And the response to the videos is totally surprised and delighted me, because I did the videos as an alternative to a blog, because when I said to people, this is what I'm going to be doing, so many people said, oh, well, what's that going to be like? And I thought a really good way of showing them was to literally show them, to video it, to film from different locations, and to give my very honest take on the highs and the lows of it.
Brilliant. Okay, so we are really looking forward to that, and that deserves a... ooh. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, and Sarah, you've just launched a new YouTube channel. I've just sent the link, that's what I was doing a minute ago, to Berdine, so we'll pop that in the link for you as well. So people can follow you on your brand new YouTube channel. And while we're talking about YouTube channels, you can also follow us as well. Please, thank you very much. And Berdine will pop the link in again. So, Berdine, quickly, what's going on in the chat? Before we haven't even started yet, but what's going on in the chat?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say good morning to everyone.
Oh yes, good
morning.
morning.
And then I've got this lovely. You can't see much because the sun is in the way.
Oh, my Leaderslive t-shirt. Yeah.
Just hold on. There we go.
There you go. Look at that. Fantastic.
Yeah, I got this one yesterday, so very excited about this and the hoodie and everything. So thank you, Andrew.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
We've got a few good mornings in the chat. You said about Paul and Jamie. Matthias said, good morning, everyone. Today is the Norwegian Constitution Day, so we'll celebrate after today's episode.
Cool. Like that. Morning, Matthias.
Good morning, Joe, Cecile, Mark Ferguson. Mark said, in the UK, Sarah, looking too happy, relaxed, and sun-tanned and working too.
Nice one, Mark. Welcome, Mark. Great to see you.
He's fab.
There you go. Shout out for Mark. You're
good morning, Maria. Maria said, good morning. Joe said, I've really enjoyed following your journey. So interesting, Sarah. Matthias said, where can we find your video series? Sarah would love to watch. And then
we're going to pop the link in the feed.
This is a cool t-shirt that I got. Yes, it is very cool.
Brilliant.
Part of the cool kids.
The cool kids on the block. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah. Hi again, Mark. So, okay. So, Sarah, you have a question for the audience. Kick us off with a quick question to get us engaged.
The first question is, have you ever envied others that travel and work at the same time?
Yeah, so there you go. Have you ever envied others that travel and work at the same time? So please use the feed, engage with us, get the engagement going, folks. Berdine will chivvy you along as well as we're coming along. And we'll come back to you as well, Sarah, in just a tick as well. So, as mentioned, Leaderslive is an interactive show, so please join in, folks. Don't be shy. Use the comments for these questions and to engage with us during the show and each other. And, as we chat through the digital nomading experience, which we think might be a new word. And remember, it's a group conversation too. You know how it goes. And we've introduced Berdine too, the lovely Berdine, all the way from South Africa. So also, please smash those likes for us, folks, and those thumbs up. To that, really appreciate that. That keeps us motivated as well. And in South Africa terms, we'd call that laka laka, right, Berdine? So, and please subscribe. Laka laka, brilliant. So, and please subscribe to the Leaderslive YouTube community channel as well as Sarah's YouTube channel. It's a group effort, so help us to grow that channel. So back to you, Sarah. Let me just bring Sarah up again. So back to you, Sarah. And just before you begin, let's just give you a round of applause. Now, those of you on podcast, there's loads of confetti pouring down the screen right now. So Sarah will be cleaning that up for ages. So
Get the pen and brush out.
Pen and brush out. Yeah, it'll be everywhere. I'll tell you, it gets everywhere. So I hope you feel the love, Sarah. Feel the love. I hope you enjoyed the lovely groovy build-up. So Sarah, you asked the audience a question. Let's start with this. let's just go back to Berdine and see what's in the chat from the question you asked earlier. So Berdine, over to you.
Okay, so Matthias said yes. Oh, it's for the cool shit. Okay,
The cool shirt.
Chris said once.
Morning, Chris.
Chris said he's very pleased to tune in with us today. And then Joe said, I certainly have. My hubster is in RAF. I've watched his work and travel journeys for over 20 years. Lucky man. Lol.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Joe. I hadn't realised your hubster. That's a great word. Is in the RAF. Brilliant.
I have met Jo and her hubster.
Have you?
Lovely people. Yeah, we've met IRL in real life.
In real life. I love that. IRL. There's a new word I didn't know even existed. IRL. There's a thing.
You'll be seeing it all the time now.
Fantastic. Berdine.
Oh, Mark said, I'm impressed with anyone who can make a plan and then do their best to make that plan work.
Oh, yeah. You see, in Myers-Briggs terms, Mark, that's because they're high J or some J anyway for planning, I guess. But there we go. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's true, does it? So anyone can travel and plan. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mark.
Yes. Maria said, I've never really thought about it from a travel perspective, but I do envy those that built their own lifestyle business that allows time for hobbies and sports.
Yeah. Now, Maria, she balances her work and play very nicely with horse jumping, that takes a lot of bravery. So hats off to Maria. So that's her massive hobby and lifestyle. Yeah.
And my question for Maria sorry, Berdine. My question for Maria is, would she and could she?
What, travel and do horse? Yeah, well, maybe she's got a family as well. So yeah.
Right. Okay, that is an extra element, a layer of consideration.
yeah, all of those things. Yeah. Berdine.
Okay. Joe just said, haha, love the IRL. Great couple of gins too.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking. Cheers, Joe. Brilliant. Nice one.
Matthias said he will remember the IRL phrase.
Nice.
Cecile said to answer Sarah's question, yes, I did. I love the interaction between moving and working my brain out. Yeah. Love working in the train.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I was writing my book, it was trains, planes and automobiles and cafes and all sorts, so all over the world. So it's great. Right. So, okay. So, Sarah, you've got a second question for us just to keep the feed going.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being extremely dissatisfied, 10 being extremely satisfied, how would you rate your current happiness level?
How would you rate your current happiness level? Okay, so on a scale of 10, how would you rate your happiness level? 1 being dissatisfied, 10 being extremely content. Okay, that's now in the feed, so please respond to that. There's a bit of a delay in the feed, so we're going to kick off with another question while we're waiting for that one to come through. Sarah, why did you even consider doing digital nomad? How did you get started? What was the impetus? What made you even think about doing this? Take it away for us, Sarah.
Thank you. In October last year, I had devised and I led a conference for a great company called Suez. And the conference theme was live your best life and be your best self.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe in being authentic and, living or practicing what I'm preaching.
Yeah.
So as part of what I do for that is that when I was 50, I decided to have a minimum of 50 amazing moments.
I remember you talking about this last. Sarah's been on the show like a few times. And we talked about the best you, didn't we? And that's where we talked about it. Yeah, so carry on, Sarah. Yeah, just give me some context then.
And what I've done is every year since then, I've upped the ante. So because I'm 53 this year, I'm now... For example, my target is a minimum of 53 amazing moments. So I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm
Count
not
backwards,
I'm
Sarah,
not-
then they get less.
I'm not descending. And what I was finding, because I keep a log, I've got albums on my phone,
Yeah.
and when I have that amazing moment, I'll photograph it or video it or record it in some way.
Yeah.
And I got to March and I was like, good God, that amazing moments folder is looking sorely empty.
Ooh.
And I need to do something about it, because I'm not going to be having amazing moments sat by myself in my apartment, not going anywhere and not doing anything.
Yeah.
And on top of that, obviously, we've all had the pandemic to deal with.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
We've had the isolation of that.
Yeah.
And I just was feeling in a bit of a rut, and I wanted some more inspiration. I wanted to feel more motivated, and I just thought the only person that can do that is me.
Yeah.
So that's how I was feeling, that it was a little bit Groundhog Day. And that's even with the fact that I know that I have a fantastic life. I really do. I live in a beautiful apartment. I've got my own business, which is brilliant. I've got lovely clients. Got little sound effects of the church there. So even with all of that, I just thought, I'm really feeling demotivated, and I need to do something different, because if I don't, I'm not going to have a different outcome.
Yeah.
And then what happened also at the same time is that I follow a business author called John Williams, who's fab. And I think I've introduced you to John as well,
yes.
Andrew.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's written 4 best-selling books, and he was doing a live stream from Madeira all about being a digital nomad there. And I watched John do this live stream from a hotel that I've actually now been and stayed in, the next Savoy.
Wow.
And it just really inspired me. And so that night, I thought, right, let's take radical action. So I booked a one-way ticket to Madeira.
One-way ticket. Wow.
Yeah, and I booked 3 nights in a hotel, and that's my hotel reservation.
Oh.
And let's just show you. I do like getting a few little props for you.
Nice. Sarah props.
Let's just show you. And then this is, let's just find it. And that's my flight. Just there.
Yeah.
And that's what I went with. I
That's
went
it.
with one-way ticket and 3 nights in a hotel.
Yeah, and of course a very small bag, right, which we'll come on to later, but yeah, Sarah, yeah, I'm sure there'll be like 10 bags for hair products. We'll come on to that a little bit later.
I think I can give out John a run for his money sometimes on the luggage.
Okay, yeah, so we'll come to what on earth you pack a little bit later, but Berdin, just sort of, let's just give Sarah a pause for a minute. What's going on in the chat? Let's revisit the chat.
Okay. Maria said, yes, I had 3 children, but definitely a thought for the future. I could go and ride horses in different countries.
Yeah.
That's just on the previous question.
Do you think, Maria, that they'd all have to have different languages as well, those horses, or would you take your own horse? Oh, there's an interesting thought.
Mark said I was effectively a digital nomad for 6 years while I ran the Asia business for PSI Metals. UK office about 6 times per year. Was a constant search for electricity and Wi-Fi and permanent jet lag.
Yeah.
Definitely not a glamorous lifestyle.
Yeah, and we'll come to Wi-Fi. I get, I could see that as a major challenge. Well, actually, let's tackle it now. Is that a major challenge still, Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I pick places to stay really carefully, depending on Wi-Fi connectivity. And I've also got unlimited data on my phone, so I've got a personal hotspot backup as well.
Yeah. Do you get 5G wherever you are? Is that possible, or is it 4G?
I just started getting 5G about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, right.
Otherwise, it's largely been 4G.
4G.
But I'm doing sometimes 6 Zooms a day, and I deliver a lot of training via Zoom, so it has to be superb.
Yeah. Okay. And has that been a challenge for you doing the Zoom rooms?
The challenge I find with a lot of the co-live, co-work spaces, or even just co-work spaces, is that they've got some shared facilities.
Yeah.
Very few have got enough spaces or pods or acoustically sound places that you can do Zooms.
Yeah. Rooms for Zooms.
Rooms for Zooms.
Rooms for Zooms. There you go. Yeah. So there's another challenge. Okay, but not impossible, as you've found out. No. Okay. So in answer to the question on scale out of 10 for satisfaction, birding.
Yeah, we got an average of 7. So if I look quickly through the feed, it's an average of 7.
Laurie, morning, Laurie. Morning, Elaine Jenkins. That's a good name, by the way, Elaine Jenkins. Yep. Kathy Heath, one of my mates, 7. Joe Cooper, 8. Nice one, Joe. Mateus, 7. Kim Todd. Good morning, Kim Todd.
Oh, hi, Kim.
She says, morning, everybody. There you go.
Kim's waiting with a 9.
yeah, that was Kim. There you go. Yeah, waving with a 9. There we go. Yeah. Go on, sorry, Birdine.
And then Cecile also had a 7.
Yeah. And I think Maria says this about you looking amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Joe said, Sarah, you always look fab. You're definitely suiting the digital nomad life. Looks like you've taken a youth due.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, thanks, Joe. On some of my videos, honestly, I was really feeling the age, believe me, when I was watching them back. But thank you for the compliments.
Brilliant. Okay, carry on, Birdie.
Matthias said it is fantastic to have the opportunity to work from where you want. Yeah. The last 2 months I've worked from a co-working space twice a week.
Nice.
But when listening to how you describe life of being a digital nomad, I'd love to try this lifestyle and travel as well.
There you go, Matthias. Right, get that one-way ticket going and take a picture of it and we can all see it for next week, Matthias.
Maria responded to what you said, Andrew. So she said, so right, need to change something to get different outcomes.
Yeah, there you go. Maria's our mental toughness expert.
And then she also said one horse language.
One horse language, there you go. Yeah, makes sense.
Cecile said, thanks for sharing, Sarah. I can relate to your experience.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cecile.
Yeah, and then Matthias just responded to Maria's horse language. He said the horse is perhaps multilingual, making it an intelligent horse as well.
Well, horse whispering.
Sorry, I need to drop off.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Mark Ferguson's dropping off. He said enjoy the rest of the call.
We'll catch up with you, Mark, no doubt. Mark. See you, Mark. Nice to see you. To see you, nice.
Elaine said you've got a great name, Andrew.
There you go. Right.
Kim said, yes, I am very happy this morning. It's absolutely gorgeous in this part of the world. Great to tune in.
Wow. So where's Kim calling from?
In South Devon.
South Devon. Yeah, South Devon, UK. Fine. Brilliant. Okay. Thanks, Kim. Yeah, that's your part of the world, right? She's one of your mates, Sarah.
Yeah, Kim and I work together.
Yeah, I thought so. yeah. Hi, Kim. Great.
And our friends
and then
as well.
Elaine said you look amazing, Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Elaine.
Laurie said I will be heading back to the office nearly full-time after work from home, full-time for the last 4 years. Not sure I'm thrilled with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about this, isn't there? People resisting going back and stuff, and the whole great resignation thing is, and as you mentioned, Sarah, that stirred you up as well, the whole pandemic, being locked down for 2 years, and
absolutely,
people are making different life choices. Sarah, do you think?
They are, and I think it's been a seismic change because we've had such radical transformation of society that no one would have foresaw, even in the month or two before the pandemic really started to take flight.
Yeah.
And it's reset and made people challenge a lot more.
Yeah. Reset. Yeah. And that whole rethinking, reset, repivot, reinvent. And Sarah, just a thought here. I meant when we talked earlier, you said that for some people this is about a midlife crisis. Is it also about a life crisis as well, that people kind of just reevaluate their lives, no matter what age? It doesn't have to be the midlife, but what are your thoughts on that? Is that part of the impetus of returning back to that authenticity, as you said?
I think it's that, and I think it's also because of the economic and the cultural changes, and the fact that it reminds me of the Second World War in a little bit
Oh yeah.
of a way. What happened in the Second World War is that, for example, women went and worked in industries and did jobs that before the Second World War they'd never dreamed of doing. Not because they didn't want to, there just wasn't the opportunity.
Of course.
And I see the pandemic having that kind of seismic change.
A game changer. Yeah.
It is a game changer, and also because of the ability for people to work remotely now, because they've proven that they can work remotely.
Yeah.
That for me is what the difference is. And with a lot of the people that I've been meeting doing this lifestyle, a good proportion of them wouldn't have been able to do this pre-pandemic. It's because of the pandemic that they've got the flexibility, and they're also are a lot more employers seeing it as an advantage to offer fully remote working.
Yeah, so it's become a thing, I guess, and people are reevaluating what's important to them. But also, this flexibility has come through this whole hybrid, thing.
And even I think I said in one of my video diaries, just book a ticket for a week and do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign up for months or years. It can be as small as a week. Just go and try it.
Yeah.
Most people, unless they've got young children or horses to feed, most people can go and do a week. I think it's fair to say.
Most people can do a week. Yeah, fair enough. And Mattes says this, so he's responded to your challenge. I will take a screenshot once the one-way ticket is ordered, guys. Well done. Oh, brilliant. And Maria says, totally agree. The virtual concept of work is new to her too. It's new to a lot of us, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, very briefly, so you've been travelling since March. You're going to travel until June and come back and then reevaluate and do a 2.0. Where have you been so far? Where have you stayed? What sort of places have you been to? Tell us a little bit about your journey so far.
Yeah, so I flew out to Madeira.
Yeah.
I did used to call it Madeira, but I now know you should pronounce it Madeira.
Oh, Madeira cake, not Madeira cake, right?
Yeah. I flew out to there with my one-way ticket because I had no idea how long I would be there or where else I was going after that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep it really flexible, which was a very good idea.
Yeah.
In the end, I decided to leave Madeira after staying at 2 locations. One's called Ponta do Sol, the other one's the capital, Funchal, because I found getting accommodation really challenging.
Oh, right. So there's another challenge, trying to get the accommodation for staying in. Right.
Or getting the right accommodation, because I wanted to do the co-live, co-work experience.
Okay.
And that was the big difference for me. I didn't want to just pitch up to a co-work and then, go and sit by myself in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Because I thought I'm sat by myself at home.
Yeah. So you want to be with others, right?
So I want to be with others.
Okay.
So after Madeira, I went and did a 5-day digital nomad experience on an island called Porto Santo, which no one's heard of, but it's a 2-3 hour ferry journey from Madeira. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful island.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the digital nomad part of it was that well organised.
Right.
But I'm really glad that I went to the island and I met some nice people.
Yeah.
And then after that, I then travelled to Gran Canaria, because Gran Canaria, especially Las Palmas, has got quite an active digital nomad community. And I stayed in a co-live, co-work space there that's run by a company called People.
Yeah.
And they've got about 6 different co-work spaces.
Wow.
And so I stayed there for a couple of weeks
Yeah.
before then moving on to Tenerife, because once you start getting into the digital nomad communities, you get a lot of recommendations.
Ah, okay. Places to go, places to see.
Yeah, and what I found is every single co-work space is so different, it's untrue.
Wow.
I can't begin to say the variance in them.
Gosh.
And not even necessarily in good or bad, they're just different.
Just different.
Yeah, so when I went to Tenerife, I decided to go to North Tenerife because it's less commercial, it's greener. Both North and South Tenerife have very active digital nomad communities.
Wow. Yeah.
And I stayed, first of all, in a place called Ikigai. And I've done a video, an interview with the guy that runs Ikigai.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I saw that the
about
other
his
day.
story.
Yeah, great.
And then I've moved to a place called Nine, which is, I think it's been rated the top co-work space in Europe for the last few years. And I worked hard to get in here.
Yeah.
Because it's always booked.
It's always booked, right?
Yeah, but you can. I mean, I just wrote to, I didn't just take on face value the fact that it looked like it was booked on the online booking. I wrote to the owner.
Okay, yeah, just to make doubly sure, right? Yeah, okay.
Well, no, just to say, this is my situation.
Yeah.
I would love to be here with you.
Oh, wow.
And can you make it happen? And she did.
Well, brilliant. Fantastic. There you go. So you've got to use your influence and your sass a little bit as well, Sarah.
Oh, absolutely. Because, you know, if you don't ask, you never give someone the chance to say yes.
Yeah, dig into those resources. Fantastic. We'll come to the chat in a minute. The chat's getting really busy, so we'll come on to that in a moment. But
and then I'm off to mainland Spain next. I'm off to a place called Sun & Co. in Javier, near Alicante.
Well, lovely. Well, that's on the coast, is it? I take it.
It's just in from the coast.
Okay, gotcha. Lovely. Wow. So there's a varied experience for you folks. And just out of interest, what is a co-live and a co-work space? Is it a hotel? What is it? Well, it's just trying to describe it to us. I know everyone's different, but give us a sense and a flavour for what it feels like to be in one of these places.
Well, the central theme is community.
Okay.
And a co-work space, there are co-work spaces everywhere. And obviously we've got them all over and in the UK. And
right.
But yeah, there are loads of co-work spaces in the UK.
Yeah, I hadn't appreciated that actually.
Yeah, they're all called, or places you can go do hot desking or work hubs, everything like that. The difference with the co-live is that you are all in usually one location, one residence. They're largely small or large houses. So the one that I'm in at the moment, and I'm going to do a video tour around here in the next day or two. So you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see it.
There you go, folks.
Yeah, but it's a huge historic house in the town of La Orotava. Absolutely ginormous.
Wow.
And it can sleep, I think, 20 co-livers.
Yeah.
And there's a huge rooftop terrace. There's daily yoga in the morning. There's lots of other outside space, and there's everyone has their own bedroom. I think there's one maybe shared room. Some places offer a dorm option. I haven't taken that up because I'm not going that far.
A dorm option. What do you mean by that?
A dorm.
A dorm. Oh, yeah.
A dorm.
A dorm.
A dormitory.
Yeah, live together with other people. Yeah. A hostel type arrangement.
Yeah, it's sort of like a hostel, but nicer. But you can. There was one place that I went to called Cactus Co-Living that I went for a wine tasting, because a lot of the co-work and co-live community, the owners of the co-live, they arrange mutual events.
Yeah.
So you get together, for example, here on the weekend at 9, there's going to be a community event, and
wow, it's lots of social stuff.
Yeah, all the co-livers from this part of the island are all invited, as well as the community. So they largely the established ones will get on and they'll recommend each other, and they'll have these sort of mutual events.
Brilliant.
And then everyone is different. So with this co-work, co-live space, There's a lot of like social events organised. There's daily yoga, breakfast is provided. There's things like a family dinner every Wednesday. Other co-live spaces, there are no events organised. There's, I think, a big difference is if the host or the owner lives in the space, because then it's a far more curated experience and managed experience.
Gotcha.
So with some that I've been in, it's they will all set up a WhatsApp or a Slack community.
Yeah.
And so you communicate via WhatsApp or Slack.
Okay.
And Slack's like a communication project management platform.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, so that's how you communicate in terms of organising things. But then it's really dependent on the place that you're staying, that some places you're really left to your own devices in terms of you've got to make your own arrangements with the other co-livers. You don't necessarily know that much of what's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas with other places, they really keep you informed and supported. Really different.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Wow. And gosh, I mean, there's so much there. Just before we go to the comments, I've just got a question. I mean, just rough costs, what are we looking at here to have to live in a co-live space, daily or weekly or whatever?
Really good question.
Yeah.
It varies. If you want a private room with an ensuite, I think it can be as much as €80 a night.
Okay. What's that, about 60 quid, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you get discounts for signing up. The biggest discounts are if you sign up for, say, a month or 6 months.
Okay.
Then
Gotcha.
they can quite radically drop. The cheapest one that I think I've done had a special offer on was €35 a night,
Wow.
and that was for a private room.
Yeah.
If you go the dormitory route, I think it can drop to about €1,000 a month if you are willing to go that route.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
I do know people that have done the dormitory route, and yeah, it's maybe for people that are just maybe starting out in life, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. For the younger set, right? Maybe. Okay. Birdie, what's going on in the comments? Let's catch up with that.
Laurie said, honestly, I think work from home gets a bad rap with, number one, government offices that can't seem to make it work. And number two, managers that don't know how to manage a remote team, which is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's an
then,
interesting comment.
Matthias-
Yeah, thanks, Laurie.
Yeah, Matthias said this. He said, I would say that a hybrid working model is the future. In Ireland, where I've been living for years, many friends used to commute 2 hours each way to Dublin 5 days a week before the pandemic. Now they no longer have the pandemic, no longer have to do it, and are more productive working from home. They say the newfound flexibility is better for family life, economics, and also the environment. In addition, they can now go for a run during their lunch break, such they have reinvented how they work for the better.
Yeah. Really interesting comment.
I think there is real merit in the hybrid model,
Yeah.
or where even a company will say to someone, work from home for maybe 3 months at a time, but then come in for, have these regular, really well organised events that are true team community builders.
Yes, yeah, indeed. So be flexible. So sometimes in, sometimes out. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Joe said in old companies I'd work with, they would never allow homework.
Yeah.
Were strict on 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Their thought process was if you weren't seen in the office, you weren't working, although figures always showed the work was being done. At Integrity, I was employed Jan 2020 in a pure homework role. Love it. get more done.
Yeah, interesting. A lot of people say that, actually. My wife was working from home during the pandemic, obviously, and she does the finance for a digital agency, and she found it quite hard to go back to the office, but she realised the one thing she missed was the interaction with with her fellow colleagues, and that was the bit that's really easy to miss because it's so efficient to work from home, but it's more effective to work in the office. She came to the conclusion of, and now we do a 3-day week, so she works for 3 days and then we have a long weekend, which is really nice. So yeah, that's just my experience. So yeah, sorry, Berdine.
Yes, Cecile said overcoming our own barriers is a liberating feeling, but most importantly, to a true self and simply live your own truth and be happy.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, nice one, Cecile. Yeah.
Yeah. Laurie just sent a message back to Joe saying this is a huge roadblock to work from home in the government.
Yeah.
I'm writing my dissertation on military contractors remote working during the pandemic, and the biggest roadblock was supervisors.
Interesting. Yeah, and I wonder whether security is an issue for that
Yeah.
kind of work as well. I don't know. That would be interesting to find
that's
out.
true.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks, Laurie.
Yeah. And then Matthias just said that he would love to read the dissertation when it's finished. Joe said,
There you go. There's community
Laurie,
for you.
Joe said, Laurie, if you would like to chat to anyone who is or was a military contractor, let me know. So, Laurie, there you've got a
There you
contact.
go. Loving it.
She knows
Brilliant.
it too.
Yeah, nice.
Laurie just commented on what you said, Sarah. She said, rough life, Sarah.
Yeah, it's really rough, isn't it? Yeah, we feel for you. We really do.
Paul said, sounds like an amazing lifestyle. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Paul,
thanks, Paul.
Yeah, great to see you again, Paul. So I know, Paul, you've been through a few ups and downs recently, so I hope everything's all right with you at the moment, mate.
Okay, and then it's just Laura and Joe networking, which is great to see here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Elaine said, loving the sounds of co-live, co-work. Are the ages mixed, Sarah?
Oh, good question. Nice, Elaine. Go for it, Sarah. Jump in.
They are and they aren't. I would say Andrew and I were discussing some stats that he'd researched earlier, and I think the average age is early 30s. I would say late 20s, early 30s is the most predominant.
Yeah.
I think I'm one of the oldest people that I've met.
Okay. That's interesting.
By sometimes quite a long way.
Old as you feel, Sarah. Old as you feel.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I've met, I have met other people in their early 50s.
Yeah.
Doing Digital Nomad.
Yeah.
Not many of them.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that just because there aren't many of them right now, doesn't mean that you shouldn't and you couldn't.
Indeed, because it can attract any age group, right? But predominantly we're looking at the younger set, but that's just stats, right?
Yeah, and I just think maybe it's because people haven't encountered the idea of it yet, and when I first said I'm going to try the digital nomad lifestyle, the amount of people that said to me, "What's that?"
Yeah.
And so that's partly why I started the video series, just describing actually what is it, what's it like, what's the realities of it.
Yeah, and that everyday journey has just been fantastic to share with you. So great idea, brilliant. Yeah, Berdine.
Okay. Matthias said co-working spaces can also be fantastic platforms to meet new people and learn new things. Iconic Offices in Dublin has become known internationally for hosting webinars for all interested, where entrepreneurs and public speakers are given the opportunities to promote their work by hosting insightful webinars about well-being at work and workspaces for the future. Fantastic sessions. You can all go and watch it there. He dropped the link in the comments as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, there you go, Sarah. There's some opportunities as well to extend that story. Wow, brilliant.
Thank you, Matthias. So check that out.
He's a star, isn't he? Well done, Matthias.
Then Paul Hughes said
Morning,
it would be
Paul.
interesting to see how
It's
many
my
digital
bro.
nomads actually decide to permanently live in the country that they are co-working or co-living in.
Can you do that now with the European Union closed off to the UK? Is there a minimum time, Sarah, now?
There's some visas being introduced that I now get a lot of messages from people about, including you, Andrew.
Yeah, indeed.
What's this about Digital Nomad? So there are a number of digital nomad visas being introduced, and there's also, for example, in Madeira, there's it's like a retirement type of scheme, a residency scheme, but you don't have to be old. So it's called a type of retirement residency, but it's not the fact you've got to be a certain age. I think you have to fulfill other criteria. So a lot of other countries are introducing different types of schemes, and part of the reason that I'll be leaving mainland Spain in June is that I'll have done my 3 months, so I have to leave Europe.
Have to leave, yeah, gotcha.
But then other countries have waived, like I think Cyprus and maybe Turkey, maybe I don't know the exact ones. Certain countries have also waived that, so they're not in that scheme.
Okay, right.
And then a few people I know, when lockdown started to happen, they moved abroad then to get residency before the Brexit kicked in.
Okay, so it's a moving thing, isn't it? And it's changing all the time, I think is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay, fine, thank you. Just picking up a comment here by Chris Jones, one of my mates. Morning, Chris. Hi, Andrew. We have run a completely remote business for the last 12 months. We have a growing staff and it works well for us. It actually allows family flexibility and quality of life days. I would do it again in our circumstances. It's not right for all though. Yeah, which I suppose then opens the door to say, well, you can work from anywhere in the world then. You don't have to be, even in this country, it could be anywhere.
And also in answer to, because that's my bro Paul Hughes.
Hello, bro Paul Hughes. Oh, he is your bro, literal bro, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
We always describe each other as twins, but just born 7 years apart.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and he's dialing in from Melbourne this morning in Australia.
Nice, Paul. Well done for dialing in. You're in the evening then, right? Or even late evening, I don't know.
Yes. But quite a few people do take up the mantle of they go somewhere and like Labour, who was the guy that I interviewed at the last co-live place. Yeah. He's from Venezuela. He got to Tenerife a year ago and he fell in love with it and he started that business and I don't know how he's doing it, but he's permanently resident now.
Yeah, I wonder how he's doing it.
Anne, who runs this co-live place, is actually from the Netherlands, and she came in. She founded it 4 years ago after doing the co-live co-work.
Incredible.
So I come across a lot of people who then do settle. Yeah.
Okay. So and there you go. So whole new lifestyle, and they settle down, and there's some way they do that. That's interesting. So your bro says it's 6:30 over there. Brilliant. Berdine, just finish us off on the comments and then we'll move
on. Okay, so Laura Hale said, Paul Hughes, I managed the European contracts for our company from our headquarters in Texas, but moved to the UK about a year into it. Too bad we didn't have contracts in Spain.
There you go. Yeah, so, well, yeah. And I suppose you could live anywhere now then if you're working from home for a US company. Yeah, who knows? Okay, great.
Jack Wright said, we often miss the power of the social element of work.
Oh, yeah. And Sarah, there's one to chip in on there quickly. Yeah. Actually, you've talked about these co-live, co-work spaces. There's a big social community that goes on, right? Work and play.
Yeah, and that's why I came out and did this. Yeah. Because I've been really struggling to find a good co-work space in Devon. Yeah. And I was just thinking, I really want to be somewhere that's vibrant and dynamic. Where I'm meeting people from a wide variety of backgrounds. And the co-live space, because people and connection and community, I don't think we can be happy without that.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
half
think
the point, isn't it?
yeah, and I think with being single and I don't have children, I've got amazing friends and family.
Yeah.
And it was Esther Ranson actually that said, you know, when you've got lots of people to do something with, but you haven't got someone to do nothing with.
Really
And
nice.
it's just finding that, yeah, I'd go and have, you know, go and do a Mazumba class or go and do this, and I'd be back home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm just sat here on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's nice to do nothing with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you get that experience of shared experience. And my guess is too, you know, that because you've got this whole new experience and this whole new energy system going, you know, how do you find that has work boosted for you? You know, has it changed? What's changed for you work-wise because of this new experience?
What's been really surprising is that when I started to do the video diary, I didn't do it in my normal work mode. And my normal work mode, because I do run a marketing business, is we have a target, we have objectives, we have a strategy, we have expected outcomes. And I didn't do any of that. I thought my only objective with the videos is to share the experience of what it's been like, and to do it in a way that's real, authentic. It's not overly produced.
No.
And I'm calling this my sort of experiment, because other than having that one-way ticket and the 3 nights in the hotel, I had nothing planned, absolutely nothing. So I thought, let's see what shakes out of the experience.
Yeah.
And what has so far is that people that have seen my videos, because I post them on LinkedIn, Facebook, and now YouTube, has really given them a chance to know, like, and trust me in a different way.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
And
interesting.
So that's one side of it, that I've been getting interest from people that even if I've been connected to them for years,
an engagement.
You know, it's a different kind of engagement.
Yeah.
And the other thing it's going to be interesting what happens with it, because I've been contacted by people as far afield as Reykjavik that have seen the videos and are like, oh, can I do a session with you about how it could work for me?
Lovely.
You know, there are a lot of people dissatisfied with the corporate executive life, and I think they just want that sort of holding hand.
Of course, yeah. Can I share your experience? Got
or
to see
just
like ones.
Sound you out on how it could work for me.
Brilliant.
And also been approached potentially about, excuse me, featuring on podcasts, doing an interview in a national newspaper, and then also potentially writing a book.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunities are endless from doing this, Sarah. Yeah, brilliant, and people listen, right, and ask questions. And just like Joe Cooper's just asked a question here, actually give you a bit of space to relax for a moment. Can you digital nomad for a few weeks at a time, or do you need longer to get into the swing of it all? There you go.
That's an excellent question, Joe. I think you can just do what works for you. If the only way that you can do it is to do it for a few weeks, just do it for a few weeks, do it for a week.
Yeah, there you
go. At least it's a taste.
Absolutely. Yeah, taste it.
You can always go back.
Yeah, indeed. 2.0, right? Brilliant.
Exactly.
Matteo says this: if the guy you interviewed is from Venezuela or South America in general, he is free to live in Spain. So there you go. That might be. There you go. Matteo, you are so on it. I love it when Matteo says that, and Laurie and everybody. They're just all on it today. This is fantastic. Brilliant. So, Sarah, highs and lows. Talk us about highs and lows.
I was thinking about this. I'll start with the highs.
Yeah.
I've had some amazing experiences that there is no way on earth that I would have had the experiences that I've had. Like the other day, one of the people I met is a really great guy called Sergio Sala, who is a YouTube creator, and he creates documentaries on living the digital nomad life. Really worth checking out his YouTube channel. And he invited me to this VIP day that he was on, where it was going into a naga, which is a prehistoric forest.
Wow.
And we had this, we had our own tour guide, and we were just seeing the most incredible mountain vistas. Then we went down to this volcanic beach.
Wow.
So things like that, seeing turtles, diving in the Atlantic,
Beautiful.
incredible scenery. Other highlights, the sense of freedom.
Yeah. Joy, freedom, and love, right?
Absolutely, sense of freedom, of actually not knowing.
Yeah.
And just having the most surreal experiences. Like I was walking around, it's called a Palmita, and it's a palm botanical garden in Santa Cruz, which is about an hour from where I am in Tenerife.
Yeah.
And got chatting to these three people, and one of them turned out to be a famous actress called Eliza Butterworth, who's filming right now for the BBC in Tenerife, a new series, and her boyfriend and his friend. And we got chatting in walking around this palm botanical garden, because there was some little duckling struggling in a pond there. and I, you just think, am I really having this experience?
Wonderful. Yeah.
Am I really
Pinch yourself.
meeting these people?
Yeah. So those are all the highs. Give us a few lows.
The lows are not knowing a soul when you turn up.
Yeah. So you've got to make new friends.
Constantly make new friends.
Yeah.
Some places you go to, it can be cliquey.
Okay. So there's cliquies to get through.
Because especially if you've got people that are, they maybe been in the co-live for quite some time together.
Gotcha.
And you can feel really quite excluded. So I've had quite a few incidences of, especially because it's a little bit like being an expat when you do this lifestyle, that you are really reliant on the community that you're going to, because you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
And it's things like there are Slack channels and WhatsApp groups, so you're meant to sort of be told about what's going on in the co-live and everything. But the amount of times that you see everyone else going out and you think, well, where are you all going? And you're not invited.
Yeah, okay. Because of the cliquiness, right?
So it's stuff like that that's really difficult, because
Initially.
I'm only coming out to do this for community and adventure. Work.
Yeah.
So if you haven't got that, and you're in a place where everyone else seems to be all like matey, that's quite difficult.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone's doing it deliberately.
No, I get it.
So other things, obviously language barrier. I don't speak Spanish, and I've travelled to Spanish-speaking countries. And although they can be quite touristy, some of the countries, a large part of the population that I've met only speaks Spanish, not English.
Yeah.
So there are definite translation and language issues. And the other thing is just the fact that every single thing is new. So when I first started doing the travelling, I was thinking, why do I feel wiped out so quickly?
Yeah.
And it's the fact that because obviously I went from Portuguese to Spanish language as well. But I don't know the area. I don't know the landscape. I don't know the people. Every house has got its own rules.
Yeah.
Every co-work space has got its own rules. I don't know where to go and find things to eat. I don't know the public transport system.
Yeah.
So absolutely everything is constantly changing.
Yeah. That's thank you for that. Really, really useful summary there. And Bro Paul says, our time zone's a big factor when choosing the destination for digital nomad experiences. A 7 or 8 hour time difference can be really hard to maintain. What say you, Sarah?
Absolutely. And it's factoring into where I do travel next, because I'm returning to the UK in June. Because I'm delivering like face-to-face training and everything like that. However, I am going to see my brother in Australia in December.
There you go, Paul.
But I would really like to do another adventure there, which would be Bali and Thailand.
Oh, yes, now you're talking. There you go. So there's 2.0 coming up then, Sarah.
Yeah, because that's a huge digital nomad community. It's a very mature one. I have to factor in that I have to take my business seriously.
Of course.
And I think the longest day that I've worked while I've been out here is a 13-hour day.
Yeah.
And last night I worked actually until 1:30 a.m. this morning.
Gosh, yeah.
And I was up at 6 a.m. to do the booth font ready for this Azure or our get together. So at times I am whacking serious hours into working.
Yeah.
And I think some people just have an idea that all that you're doing is sitting by a bar, and it's not.
No. Okay. So
because I've got to run a business.
You've got to run a business.
Take that seriously.
And take it seriously. So finding the time to do all the organising and all the kind of reports and everything else that goes with the job. Okay. As well as all the Zooms and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, look, we're heading very quickly into overtime right now, but we just really, yeah, I know it does. But we've got. I'd love to know about. You talked about the Buffon and just talk to us very briefly about the packing experience before we close off. So, it'd be really interesting.
I brought one suitcase that's 20 kilos.
Is that all? I thought you'd be like 55 kilos or something massive.
Well, I thought 20 kilos, but I was really hard on. When I've travelled before, honestly, the suitcase was that big and heavy. The taxi driver asked me if it contained a human being.
That's just the hair products, right?
Well, talking of the hair products, we did mention it the other day. So I've actually brought with me. I've got
props. Lovely.
These are the hair products. Hang on. So there's 3 there.
Okay.
These are the amount of hair products. This is why I can't go in just a rucksack.
Ah!
I mean, these are...
There you go.
And there's more.
And there's more. Yeah. And when they run out, presumably you can buy them on mainland Spain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the one thing that I wish I'd brought that I didn't bring, because I brought things like a rain cape that has been absolutely brilliant because it also covers my rucksack.
Of course.
And I've really needed it. And there's no point in bringing an umbrella if you're going somewhere windy.
Yeah.
The rain cape's been brilliant. I've brought my walking boots, which I've used extensively.
Wonderful.
The thing that I wish I brought is a colour catcher. And that's, those sheets that you put in with your washing.
Yeah.
Because all the co-live spaces have these massive washing machines that you just like, I've only got that. Whereas if you've got a colour catcher, you could just bung all your darks and your lights in together.
Okay, gotcha. Nice. Okay, there you go. Some practical tips.
That's a very practical tip.
Take a colour catcher with you for washing. Brilliant. Sarah, we've really enjoyed this show today with you. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really enjoyed that.
Likewise.
Yeah, I mean, we could chat for ages. Just very briefly, look, you can catch Sarah. This is Sarah's details here. We'll put those in the chat as well, so you can contact Sarah on LinkedIn and on our website, boostbusinessgrowth.co.uk, Boost Business Growth, and there's some free resources there as well on free resources guide / free resources guide from her business boostbusinessgrowth.co.uk website. She's also got the prospectbooster.com lead finder as well there, and you'll see all of those on her LinkedIn profile. Mobile, and her email address is sarah@boostbusinessgrowth.co.uk, and Twitter the Sarah Hughes. Have I got that right? Yeah,
it is.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Super.
I'm not that active on Twitter, but LinkedIn's the main channel for me.
Yeah, so you can contact her there. Please feel free to contact her and get involved in any questions you've got. I'm sure she'll help you out both on the marketing side, on the business to business marketing side, as well as her digital nomad experience. So thank you again, Sarah. I hope that was food for thought for you. An extraordinary conversation we've had today. Just before I go on to what's happening next week, just a quick thing on Leaderslive. Oh, where do I start on Leaderslive? Well, Leaderslive it's a free service, and it's all about engagement and having extraordinary conversations with people. And it starts with the idea and the passion that you are more than you think. And we are also building a community of like-minded folks here, which we're doing really well today. And it's been brilliant with the community today. And this is particularly relevant for building back better businesses and people after the following 2 years of the pandemic, which actually Sarah's been highlighting as well. So our motto is I to the power of we. So Leaderslive, freely available, edutaining expression of this. Anyone can join in and take part in the extraordinary conversations that we have, just like we've had today. So that's a little bit about me, about Leaderslive. If you want to know a little bit about what I do in the professionally and commercially, you can book me for keynote speaking and hosting events. I facilitate top teams for high performance development and strategy process and leadership development, fully qualified executive coach. And you can also join Inspired CEOs if you are a business leader of a small to medium business enterprise. So that's a little bit about me. And in terms of the goose for next week, in terms of what we're doing next week, next week's show on Tuesday, the 24th of May at 8:45 a.m. UK time, I'll be hanging out with Dr. Ian Price, our resident neuroscientist and another regular guest on Leaderslive as a contributor. And we'll be chatting about tell imposter theorem to beep right off. You can add the four-letter word for that. And actually, we're covering imposter syndrome by popular demand. So Matthias and others have expressed, and Jonas and others have wanted something on imposter syndrome. So here we are. So that's coming up next week on the 24th of May. And be there or be square. So also the Get to Know You in 5 slot will be back with Matthias Sorovic going to join in and be our 5-minute guest, so we get to know him a little bit more. We can't wait. So be there, be square, folks. And in the meantime, you can rap to this music if I can find it. Where are we? There we go. And it's a goodbye from Sarah, from me, and from Birdine. We'll see you later. Enjoy all the confetti that's pouring down from the screen right now. We'll be clearing it up forever. Have a great week ahead, and thank you for listening. Cheers for now, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.